Hi guys. Um, Let me start my broadcasts. Um, do, 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 do. Okay, Twitch is alive. Wait, is it? Yes, it is. That's better. Wait, wait. No, that's not it. Uh, do, 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 do. YouTube seems to be live, but not Twitch. Um, well, OBS still gives me glitches. Maybe I should use software encoder for Twitch. And like miraculously, if I'll restart, hey, no, it doesn't want to start. Let me try software encoder. Hmm. Da, 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 da. No, it doesn't want to start. Oh, perfecto. Um, Perfect. Okay, we are streaming now. Hmm. Yeah. So my name is Misha. Everything I say is not financial advice or political agitation, but my personal opinion. Um, do, 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 yeah. Qs are continuing hooray rally. We're gonna call it hooray rally. I'm continuing to be skeptical. Look at this volume. Continuing to be skeptical. Technically, that's a sign of strength, and that's a test level for your entertainment. However, and also, well, this bar was manipulating the T1, so after this volume, I don't think so. I don't think so. Do, 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 do. Huh, was right there. Um, um, there's the volume. So that was an entry. It's so high now. Can totally work, but it's so high up there. Um, do, 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 do. Yeah, counter trend. So we would need a test, and now it's testing that it's um, too far above the 0.5. Well, all this like traded with real stops would make more sense, but not with the virtual stops like I do. Um, Somewhat volume to T1, but there's a bunch of volume in our face. Do, 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 do. Yeah, and then this volume also, like, there is a splash of volume, but it's not that biggest volume. Um, Even here. So it wouldn't be terrible to trade it after test, but too high. It's too high. Too high. Dun, 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 dun. Russian index, main stock exchange. Well, MySix is now the main one, but RTS is the oldest one. It's been there before even MySix was a thing. It's test, arguably. Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. SPY continues glorious, its glorious climb. Very good exhaustion volume. Not very good, but locally it's all right. Mm. This being the last hour of the day, I'm pretty positive. Yes. So, 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 and that's being the sign of strength in a cute place, especially if it draws a test somewhere around here. Do, 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 do. Not bad. IWM is right there in a arguable balance at the year levels. Um, Broke the T1 with a good local exhaustion volume. Da, 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 da. That was still short, so yeah. Situationally, locally, it's in a good place, I think, to correct a little bit after all this madness. Doesn't have to, just I'd say more likely than not. What we work with is the probability. So our job is to um, find the probability overweight, disbalance, and act in the direction of probability. This 0.5 doesn't make any sense, doesn't matter. And this is done too, so let's not pollute. Because by polluting the chart, you're polluting the mind, the consciousness, whatever like is there on the chart, all the drawings are imprinted in your subconsciousness. And I'm talking to myself right now. So this is a sign of strength, technically. I should really switch over to perpetual contract. Dow Jones continues its climb. Very nice volume, but a break. So now closed in correction because the first bearish bar closed. Same old story. We are in 0.5 and a sign of strength right now, but would you? Would you? Would you? Yeah, it's not the exhaustion volume, but it's significant. However, eh, don't do it to yourself, Mishka. To reverse, and now it needs a transition extreme and all of that. I'm not gonna trade it like this. So if I'm not gonna trade it like this, let it go. Let it happen. Let it happen. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. You remember this guy? Tame Impala? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. With angelic voice and hippie music from. So that should have been my actual entry on Oracle, but I don't think I'm in position to add more um, to my trade. I'll have to take it as it is. I'll have to keep it as it is. Um, this all looks good. Exhaustion now. Volume, volume, volume. You know what I mean? Bam, 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 bam. Dun, 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 dun. And this, oh, you. Uh, so yeah, mm, this is our test right there, and this is our sign of strength. And we are right now at the test with the volume, not biggest. Would need a test. The usual. Well, not really. We don't need a test here. Um, tune, tune. It's too far from 0.5, but considering it's short, and for like this little cutie, maybe, maybe baby. Yeah, let's see how that works. Pigakiam. Yeah, I don't know. Fjord goes up. Goes up. With me because I have a position in it. Couldn't pick up anything from here. Yeah. But and this level is not to trade it short. It's perforated level. This guy just continues to poke um, the creek level. Still don't know what to do with it. Looks like we're gonna have transition level finally. Looks we're gonna have like one on positive. Intel breaks the level. Um, now goes to 0.5. Not there yet. I'll be adding more to this position. Unlike Oracle, if it shows me a good entry point, I'm only in the quarter of desired position. So if it gives me local extremum, and again, the same thing like an Oracle, this thing, yeah, I'll be adding more. Um, well, technically, I'll be selling my long position, but in terms of the short trade, it's counter trend. So we would need a closed manipulation signal on hourly. Um, but hey, and that's not the biggest level. Oh, it is. Oh, it is. Huh. Chun, 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 chun. Huh. Will you, William? I would need a test regardless, but it's good. Uh, the only problem with that is that it doesn't have a closed manipulation signal um on hourly. This is so tight though. That would be wild to add here more. It's doable. It's absolutely doable. 933, 935. So yeah. Like, why not? It's not quite at 0.5, but considering the nature of the short, it changed direction though. Maybe not. Maybe add another fraction. Not full position, of course. It can resume violently though from here and play it short. I'm not gonna even let it go. And there is weakness all the way here. Yeah, I think it's doable. Shouldn't have broken the level, of course. Shouldn't have broken the level. Should have not broken the level. Or play by the rule. I think that's it, really. Looks like that's it. Hmm. Yeah, it's all here. Do an exclusion and mm, don't wait for the close manipulation signal on hourly. It's because of how tight this all was. Mm-mm. So this was an accident, then this is a sign of strength. And that was the that was the sign of strength test. Could have been an accident. Let it maybe complete the test. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, just do it. Just do it, and we see weakness. We see everything we need. Okay. Short at 29. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Um, Look, I'm in for dun, dun, dun. It's a day trade. Day trade. And I'm in for So we're gonna buy it back. At 29.49. Okay. Uh, want to do is the reward. Profit taker 29.99 and stop loss. Huh. Oh, right. We're playing short, so all the calculation is reverse. Okay. Let's describe our trade. It's pretty much counter trend, long impulse correction, biggest volume. Yeah, all the same. Counter trend. Uh, on months, short impulse to do level resistance level on to correction. All the same. It's a trend trade on months. It's a trend trade. On day, we have a counter trend trade expanding. Wait, what? Like impulse expanding creek level. Transition extremum. Creek transition extremum. Exhaustion volume. It's actually minus, not plus, too high. Now we have correction to point. It's a counter trend trade. Counter trend trade. An hour. We have a counter trend trade. We have again long impulse. We have T1 level. We have resistance level. One to correction question mark because it's short, so potentially it doesn't have to be exactly 0.5. 5 minutes. It's a aggressive counter trend trade. It's a long impulse. It's biggest volume T1. It's a resistance level. It's biggest volume 2 bar up thrust, closing below the opening level. It's a weak approach. Uh, no test. I went from one bar of weakness. This bar of weakness. Calculated, affordable, virtual, virtual, uh, plus 1 to 2, risk to reward, take profit. Profit. And this is what I mean. Oops. Um, aggressive. To bar of thrust plus. Let's share it with the world for what it's worth. Dun, dun, dun. Do it. Intel Corporation, short, short 5 minutes. They aggressive counter trend. They trade. 1 hour. 1 hour counter trend. D 1 day trend. No, also counter trend. Counter trend. 1 month trend. 1 year counter trend. It was the trend. Okay. Long trend technical wave. Intel short setup wave. So we say volume spread analysis support and resistance zones YCAF and take profit. We have more Intel under our west. Let's run it. Share it with Facebook. Let the world know. In 1916, a proposed amendment to the US Constitution called for all declaration of war to be decided by national referendum, and anyone voting in favor would be required to enlist as a volunteer in the United States Army. What a beautiful proposal. I think every country should have it. What made the proposal even more striking was its second clause. Anyone who voted yes to war would be required to register as volunteer for military service. This was designed to ensure for those supporting war with President Barron considering this encouraging casual union uniform support. Though the amendment never passed, it sparked serious debate and was later echoed in the Ludlow Amendment proposal during the World War II era. This effort reflected growing public skepticism about war and desire to prevent political leaders from dragging the country. Bro, this is just brilliant. I'm gonna share it. I think every country should have this such a law. So if this is true, while reposting on Facebook, I just saw a post declaring that um it was a proposed law that everyone who like war needs to be decided by referendum, and everyone who voted yes should get enlisted to army. I think it's beautiful. Um, I think it's beautiful. This is bold, but we'll see. This is bold. Okay, so what do we have here now? Wait, what? Bro, just look at this. Just look at this. Yeah, this volume doesn't make sense anymore. Just look at this shot. Yeah, I think it's up to no good. And we can already tell in 7 days is gonna add more volume, so solve the exhaustion volume, I think. It has room to go in like pivotal, so like 0.5 as a rotation point we land here. But bruh, but bruh. Boom, boom, boom. Then this, then this. Yeah, think we have a good perspectives to go way lower. Um, no exhaustion uh, at all. Wouldn't it be that great if like starting a war would be decided by referendum and everyone who voted yes should be enlisted? I think that's just beautiful. I think that's amazing. I think it should be like in UN articles, and every country that doesn't have such a law should not be recognized as the part of the world community and ostracized until like people will take responsibility for their freaking mouths. I hope it's not a fake news. I hope it's real. And by the way, there was no entry. 506. No, 510 there was. I think it's a beautiful law. Just made my day. Because first we delegate to politicians to decide if like they want to start a war on our behalf, and then like we sit at the couch, watch CNN, you know, stand with Ukraine. Uh, Whereas in reality, everyone who would stand with Ukraine should have just been sent to front lines. Um, and same in Russia, because I do know some war supporters in Russia who didn't go to war themselves and made everything to in order for their kids not to go. Um, and that's I think is pathetic. Um, it's a free world, right? So if you're in for war, you're in for war. It's your right. Just go there and die. Um, or shut your mouth. Okay. Um, That's a balance. It's a counter trend balance, but it's in a super sexy place on daily. Um, that would need a transition extreme and the whole shebang. See how politically driven we are? I got immediately like agitated, even though I'm setting up my trades and doing like stuff that concerns me specifically, but just reading something on Facebook while reposting, while sharing my trade. I think about this more than about my own business because politics appeals to our emotional side. Um, that's the trick, the way I see it. It's now in test and it needs a test. Um, wait, we had some bot notifications from oh, this is arguably no, it wasn't the same strings, but yeah. Um, didn't we have some bot notifications from from yeah, look while we got yeah that this one waiting for test WMT everything would have worked here. Everything would have worked here. This, whatever you want, everything would have worked. Um, now we are here. Too far away from 0.5, which is habitual for short. Short doesn't wait, it's short. It happens fast. Short trade, unlike long. What I'm waiting for here. It's not an hourly watch for sure. It's in a weird place anyways. Vodafone, continuation of the trend. That was too early, and that would have, there is no entry, and it goes lower. And it's some kind of freaking balance. Interesting. That technically broke the level. And what we are looking for here anyways? Anyone knows? Because I'm too carried away by my by something that I just read on Facebook, which may even not be true. To make things worse, that might not even be true. Um, maybe it's just some populism. No. Yeah, so that was the level. So now change direction. Um, it came to 0.5 or like getting close to 0.5 um and yeah, and that's it, end of the story. Comcast bounced. That needs to reverse. Uh-huh. Unvolun. No, I don't think there's anything positive for this guy. Speed. Bruh. This is stock misbehavior. That wasn't a level down. That was one bar roll. So really this was a sign of strength. Um test and level. However, we wouldn't touch it because why? We don't expect it short, so why? We expect it long. After this volume though. So good to gas. Now in test. It's counter trend, so we would need a close manipulation signal to play it off daily, but um of hourly. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. A lot happened. So the test level was here, and it didn't work, apparently. What a beautiful sound. We call it safety, but how much more like rage and aggression we get from people just have to listen to this course. Meh, meh, meh. Uh, so maybe they're more noticeable when they reverse, but apparently, if people anything like me, and I'd expect like people be sharing uh, similar traits to myself because I consider myself a human being. Um, People can go just nuts and be aggressive to each other just because they are forced to listen to this um, uncomforting sounds. So that's what we've got on Surgutnev gas. Ooh, it's a continuation of the trend. Two freaking trades on Vodafone. But yo, I'm not sure there is even a lesson for me to learn because my trading coach told that verified my thinking by saying that he wouldn't have traded this spy trade. Um, that's like one of those in continuation of the trend. So that kind of made me think that probably he wouldn't be in approval of this Vodafone trades just because like on the stock market is virtual stop. Only with real stop, my point is. Um, and there was absolutely no place to like here trade this 5 minutes, like for the sake of what? Only if with the real stops. Day trade is possible with the real stop. Then I can even use a leverage and kind of like um, use the buying power so that it makes sense in terms of the possible take profit and absolute, or otherwise it's just like crumbles, not worth it, not worth the risk. Mm. Dun, dun, dun. What the heck is this? Yeah, let's go here. Google is Googling. Once again, broke down ZTS. That's interesting. ZTS is finally the ooh, ooh, ooh. Oops. Sorry.